Hey everybody, it's Bobby Flay, and today you and I, we're gonna make a chicken salsa verde. Salsa verde means green sauce. Even the little Spanish that I speak, or the Italian that I speak, I know that that translates to green sauce, and basically every culture has its own version of a salsa verde or a green sauce. So I'm gonna show you sort of a Mediterranean one today. So you just need a few different ingredients. I'm gonna use some chicken thighs, skinless and boneless. Again, if you don't like chicken thighs and you want to use chicken breast, be my guest. I just like chicken thighs. I like the flavor. I think they stay juicier. Chicken thighs is actually one of my favorite things to cook and to eat for sure. So I'm going to start with those, but then we're going to have some fresh herbs for the salsa. We have some parsley, some chives. We have some tarragon, and really you can use any kind of fresh green herbs that you can find and combine them into this salsa verde. There'll be some lemon zest. A key ingredient, there's gonna be some fresh garlic. I'm gonna show you how to crush that. And then the sort of secret ingredient of this whole thing, in my opinion, some anchovies. I know you don't like anchovies, your friend don't like anchovies. You do like them, you just don't know it. But they're really key to this dish. Now, if you don't want to eat anchovies, if you don't eat fish or anything like that, obviously you can leave them out. It's just not gonna be as good, I promise you. You have to, definitely give it a try. I'm gonna put some crushed red peppers in mine, and then we're gonna finish it with some delicious extra virgin olive oil, and that's gonna sort of cap it all off. But first, let's get the chicken cooking. And to me, it's, I'm gonna teach you some really simple techniques here in terms of, how to grill or saute some chicken. The key is to make sure that you season it really well with salt and pepper to start. And I like to use kosher salt. If you've seen me cook it all on the Food Network, you know that I use kosher salt all the time. It's actually like, it's got big crystals. So what I do is I crush it in my fingers, and as I crush it, I just let it kind of rain on top of the chicken thighs. Then I'm gonna take some black pepper, salt and pepper on both sides. And what you can do is, instead of kind of turning them over, you can put them on the grill and then season it while the other side is on the grill. So a little canola oil. And I like to use two kinds of oils in my kitchen for the most part. Canola oil to cook with, and then extra virgin olive oil not to cook with. I'm gonna actually use this for the salsa verde, and it's not gonna touch heat. So we're really gonna, taste that nice fruity, spicy flavor and the viscosity of the olive oil. All right. So let's go to the grill. First things first, you need a hot grill. I'm cooking indoors at the Food Network kitchen. Hey, wave everybody. Obviously this is an indoor grill, but if you can cook outdoors, be my guest. Same principles. You want a hot grill because we want a really nice crust on the outside of these chicken thighs. So we're gonna put the chicken thighs on the grill. You can hear that sizzle right away. Salt and pepper, both sides. You can see I'm like salting it while it's on the grill. Let it get nice and crusty on one side for about 3 or 4 minutes. And then maybe when you turn it over, it might just take like another minute or so to cook through. So maybe a couple minutes less on chicken breast versus chicken thighs. But just as important, you want a really good contrast of texture. And the only way to get that is to let the grill do its job. That's really the key, okay? All right, let's take a look at our chicken. See, it's starting to get a little crusty. You can see that, and the salt and pepper is becoming part of the chicken itself. I'm just gonna turn them and cross-hatch them, but I'm gonna keep cooking them on the same side. The key is crusty, well-seasoned, and then cook through. And then we're gonna let it rest. And then we're just gonna douse with all this amazing salsa verde anyway. So if it doesn't look perfect, don't even worry about it, because nobody's gonna see it. We're gonna put this beautiful green sauce on top of it. All right, let's get to the sauce. All right. So fresh garlic. So when I use garlic, I almost always use it in the crushed form, and I'll show you how I like to do that. So first, I take the back of the knife. Okay, not this part of it, but this part of it, and I kind of break up the head of the garlic into cloves. All right? And then I take, now you have to get the skin of the cloves off of the meat of the garlic, right? So I'm gonna take, let's say, 5 of them. And I take my knife, I put the knife on top of it sideways, okay? And I take the palm of my hand and I just push down onto the garlic. And what it does is it actually helps the skin come away from the meat of the garlic. All right, then you can pick it up, and it just makes it a lot easier to get the skin. You see, this is the meat of the garlic. That's the skin of the garlic. Just want to get it to come away. Chicken smells really good. Here, check this out. See how nice and crusty that's getting? I still want more crust than that. Basically, anything I'm cooking, I want to have a nice crust on the outside. So, now we have our garlic, and we're gonna make a nice, we're gonna pulverize the garlic and crush it so that when it goes into the salsa verde, or you're cooking with it, you know, for some other application, that it basically dissolves into whatever you're making. Because, you know, I've been to a lot of like not so great like Southern Italian restaurants where they have those big chunks of garlic in the sauce, and then you bite into the garlic and it ruins your whole meal. I mean, garlic is a wonderful thing, but like too much of it at one time can really kind of just overpower whatever you're cooking or eating. All right, so we're gonna just start like a coarse chop like this. I would say like crushing garlic is probably the thing that I do more than anything else, and it's really important for me to get the garlic crushed and really fine. All right, now I'm gonna put a little salt on top of my garlic. No, I'm not seasoning the garlic, although that's gonna happen anyway, but I'm using the salt as an abrasive for my garlic, and I'll show you what I'm trying to do. So now, first I'm just kind of coarsely chopping it, but now I'm gonna take the side of my knife and I just crush away. All right? There we go, crushed garlic, just like that. Right before your very eyes. Let's turn our chicken. That looks beautiful. Here, get in here. See how crusty that is? That's what you want to see. So you can see the heat of the grill on this side was hotter, and this got crustier. This side, not as good, all right? I don't want to see that. Just because there's grill marks on it doesn't mean it's the texture that you want. You know, and you see a lot of chicken that looks like this. This is what you really want. You want this really good contrast of texture. You want that good crust that's formed with the salt and pepper and the high heat of the grill. All right. Now we're gonna take some anchovies. This is the secret ingredient here, folks. So we're gonna take a couple of anchovies. I'm gonna chop these up as well. I'm gonna put these in with our garlic. And I love this sauce because you basically, I call this like a cutting board sauce, because everything is just gonna be on the cutting board and chopped together. And then we're just gonna finish it with a little bit of olive oil in a bowl and you're done, all right? So we take a whole bunch of herbs. So when you need more herbs than you usually think you need, because, you know, when you see them in bunches, they look very voluminous. You know, they look like they have a lot of volume to them. But when you chop them, they really kind of melt down. So we have the parsley. We have the flat leaf parsley. We have the tarragon. I love this dish. And then we have the chives. And we're just going to chop these all together. And And these can be coarsely chopped. I'm gonna put the garlic in there with the herbs. So now, we have the crushed garlic, we have the chopped anchovies, and then we have the coarsely chopped herbs all together. All right, so we have all this chopped together. I'm gonna put this into a bowl. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of lemon zest. A little bit of lemon zest. Now, if I put lemon juice in here, it's gonna actually cook the herbs like enzymatically. It's gonna turn them gray. They're gonna lose a little bit of their freshness. So I don't wanna do that. But I want that lemony flavor and the acidity from the lemon zest. And this is a great way to utilize the part of the lemon like a lot of people don't even use. So make sure you utilize it. And then a little bit of crushed pepper. You don't have to do this. I like my food a little spicy almost always, so I'm always gonna kind of reach for chili peppers and stuff like that. And then salt and pepper in here as well. And then we just fold in the olive oil into the herbs until it forms like a, almost like a chimichurri or like a very herbaceous vinaigrette. You're just basically dressing the herbs and the garlic and the anchovies with the olive oil. And that's really the kind of consistency that you want. You want it to be very herbaceous, very kind of chunky in a way. And then as you put it on the hot chicken, what's gonna happen is the olive oil will kind of spill out and form its own sauce. Now we're gonna put it in another bowl. I mean, it looks great, but you don't have to do it, especially if you're just gonna like put the sauce on top of the chicken. But let's just make believe we're actually gonna serve this to the table. If I was at home, I would never do this. I would just serve it right in the bowl, because I hate cleaning dishes. And I'm not good at it. So I try to make the least amount of dishes I can. All right, so now we have our chicken. Our chicken is cooked through. And the way I can tell that is that when I touch the chicken like this, you see a lot of chefs and cooks like touch it like to see what the story is. It's very firm and it bounces back right away. If there was a lot of give to it, that means it would still be rare in the middle. But I now know this chicken is cooked. I'm gonna go right to the plate. And you wanna let the chicken rest before you eat it because you want the juices to stay in when you cut it so they stay intact, and the only way that's gonna happen is if they cool down. But I'm gonna put the salsa verde on top of the chicken while it's still warm because it's gonna just kind of, it's just gonna bring out the natural oils and flavors of the herbs themselves, and kind of, because the chicken is still warm, it's gonna sort of seep into the pores of the chicken and make the chicken incredibly flavorful. All right, so I'm gonna take some of our salsa verde. I mean, this is it. I mean, we're ready to eat this. This is chicken dinner right here. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That smells good. And there you go. We have the grilled chicken with the salsa verde. The first word that comes to mind is bright. It's, the herbs make it incredibly bright and fresh, very refreshing, and it's got crazy flavor. I mean, don't forget, you have the garlic and the anchovies in there running through these mixture of all the fresh herbs, and it's a classic Italian green sauce for a reason. It just kind of lights up any protein that you cook.